This is Mike Rougeau from Kombo.com. I'm speaking with Matt Hooper from id Software. We're going to talk about Rage. What's your title? What do you do over at id?
I'm the design director on the project, so I just kind of manage all things design.
Well, great. I got a chance to sit through the eyes-on demo earlier, and I gotta say I was very impressed. I'm a big Borderlands fan. I got a bit of a Borderlands vibe off it, but, you know, a little more mature, a little more fleshed out. I wanted to ask you, because the eyes-on demo I saw was extremely polished, from the ambient noise to the visuals, to the dynamic combat and the way the AI jumped off walls, and it was very dynamic. And I wanted to ask you if it's a challenge trying to keep up that amount of polish through the entire game, and how you're going about that.
It is. That's actually a good question, because one of the things we want to do is infuse as much diversity throughout the entirety of the game. So when you do that, you can't just polish one element. So as you move through the Rage world, you'll see new things and things you haven't seen before, and bandits acting a lot differently than the last bandits you saw. And you'll get a new mutant and a new toy to use, and all of these things require an extreme amount of polish. And maybe that's one of the reasons it's taken so long to get it there, but we won't stop until we get the level of quality that we feel Rage needs. And that's an important point about Rage, because it's not just a procedural game. Everything about it is crafted. We almost call it handcrafted. We want every experience to be a difference maker.
You know, the environments are not procedurally generated. Everything is handcrafted. So how long does that take? Is that you know, a lot of effort versus a procedurally generated environment where things get sort of done automatically?
Yeah, it did. So we have a brand new technology, idTech 5, and it allows us a lot of creative freedom as far as the uniqueness of the environments. But we did have to get up to speed on how to use it and how to bring out the best. And not just the best for technology's sake, but why does it make a difference for the player? And one of those things, again, is the diversity. But it takes a long amount of time. But we want to build these really cool environments. You'll go in and have this very crafted experience where things will happen, and it'll just be cool. It'll be that id-style action shooter experience. But on top of that, we kind of have a world that we want to be believable. What happens when you take out the bandit clan? Well, you can go back in that environment, and maybe mutants have taken back over. So we have these layers of gameplay to go along with the unique, kind of diverse environments.
So how are you balancing all of there's the driving aspects, there's the shooter aspects, and then there's the inventory aspects, item collection. We didn't get a chance to see the inventory screen and sort of the interface during the demo, but how are you balancing all that, and how heavy is each element in there?
Yeah, that was a tough thing early on. We didn't know how far we would go. Again, it's not an RPG. We're not pretending it is. The kind of games we like to play are these kind of crafted, focused shooter experiences. But we wanted to add in elements that the genre has evolved over time, and we know that. We're not stupid. We want to give the players what they want, and it's by adding elements like the vehicle. But you could at first look at the vehicle and say, wow, that's a totally different game. And sometimes in development it feels like it is. But we've taken a lot of care to make it an extension of the shooter experience. It's all about the fundamentals. It's about control, feedback. You strap a weapon on the car, you drive it, it's very intuitive. Shoot the weapon, a car blows up, and get some rewarding feedback. So it really doesn't go that far from what we've always done. It still is that kind of action shooter, even when you're in the vehicles. In the inventory, what we've done is basically give the player this whole new toolbox of tools, and by manipulating the inventory and the economy, you can kind of pick and choose which way you want to play. If you're a grenade thrower, go with that. If you want to drive our little engineering item with the the bomb strapped on the little remote control car, you can do that. If you're a defensive player and want to throw down a turret, you can do that. We don't force you. It's really an open kind of player choice mechanic world.
Awesome. The vehicle combat, which you mentioned, looked great. The normal combat looked great. I wanted to ask you about online and about multiplayer, whether those are things that you guys are ready to talk about yet, whether those are going to be featured.
We're not quite ready. We will have multiplayer modes, that's guaranteed. It will fit kind of uniquely in the Rage universe, so it's almost whatever you expect. It'll probably be a little different. We want to give the player something new, maybe that they haven't seen before. So I think later on in the year, when we kind of get all of the things we want to show, we'll do a big release on what we're doing on the multiplayer side. But we're spending a lot of attention on it. We're just not ready to talk about it yet.
Good, well that sounds great. The last thing I wanted to speak about was the plot, the idea of emerging from this arc. It's very Fallout. but it has its own unique twist, and I was wondering if you could speak a little bit about that, maybe give us some more details.
Yeah, really, as a designer, for me, the new IP and the new fiction is just a really cool excuse to do all the things we always wanted to do. And you'll see it. It might sound like this game or feel like that movie or appear like that book you read, but really it's nothing like it. I mean, you can see it from the mutant there, and just the way they act and feel. They're not like any other mutants you've seen. So you'll learn the world. It'll unfold as you go through. So at first glance, it may seem or appear that it's like something else, but what we've crafted is something totally different. And the minute you step out in that arc and you're fighting for survival against our bandits, and the way the bandit clans look and feel and treat you, you kind of learn that this world you haven't seen before.
From what I saw, I don't doubt that. Again, this is Mike Rougeau from Kombo.com. That was Rage. Thank you very, very much.
All right, thanks.